Hey guys, my name is Confident. Welcome to the 24-minute lesson excerpt where I will be sharing with you some ideas, some methods, some strategies or concepts that you can incorporate as you prepare for your final exams, be it you're studying for your mathematics N1, your N2 or your N3. Now, if these videos are handy and you are benefiting from them, you can actually press the like button, or if you've got some ideas, you can leave some comments below. If you also like to be notified of extra videos every time we post them, you can subscribe to our channel and then you'll get some notification every time there are new videos. And also, if you are interested in some of our resources, be it textbooks and some videos, you can check this at the end of this video. We will send you some information. Now let's check this concept out. The question that I'm dealing with today in today's lesson, it is the question on coordinate geometry, and usually in your mathematics N3 this is question number 4 or question number 5, but the key part there is coordinate geometry. Some refer to it as analytical geometry. So now let us look at this question. It says in figure 1 below, ABC is a triangle with vertices A is that, which is 0, 8, B, 1, 0, and C, 4, 0. BD, a line with D of points P2 on AC, makes an angle of 45 degrees with the x-axis. Now let us look at the diagram here. Yes, it can fit. It says in figure 1 below, so this is the diagram. Now it says ABC, so I've got my A, I've got my B, and I've got my C. As you can see, it is a triangle with vertices. We've got our A as 0, 8, our B as 1, 0, and our C as 4, 0. B, D, a line with D on P2 on AC. There is our A and there is our C. So D is a point on line AC. That's what they're saying. It makes an angle of 45 degrees. There is that angle, that line DB. It makes an angle of 45 degrees with the x-axis. Remember, these are my x-axis. Now, so this is a question on coordinate geometry. It is given, and then following it's a statement, or is the introduction to the questions that are going to follow after this. So we are going to look now at the questions. So there is the diagram. Now let us look at the first question. The first question says you need to calculate, it says determine the following. Determine the gradient. In this case, we are looking at the gradient of line BD. And then to find the gradient of line B, in this case D, you are given B as 0.10 and you are given D as point P2, and the other information you are given is that BD makes an angle of 45 degrees with the x-axis. So already you can see that you can find the gradient of BD using the formula which says theta is equal to arc tan M. There is a formula. If you refer to your formula sheet, you will find this formula which says theta is equal to arc tan M, and you can rewrite this formula as M in this case is equal to tan theta. So in the formula sheet it's given like that, but you can now rewrite it as that. But we know that our theta is 45 degrees, so it means M is equal to tan 45. Now if you use a calculator then to find tan 45, you are going to get 1, so which means M in this case is equal to 1. So the gradient of BD is equal to 1 in this case. So as you can see, I couldn't use point D because I do not know my P, but I had to use the angle, and that particular angle is 45 degrees and it can give me the gradient directly. Let us move on to the next question. The next question says, still on the same diagram, the statement that we read, it says determine the value of P. So now they want me to determine the value of P. To get the value of P from the information that were given, remember from the previous question, they wanted us to find the gradient of this line, and that particular line was the gradient of BD. Now they want to find the point P, and it is linked to the gradient of BD. How do we link it? If we say the gradient of BD, remember M is equal to 1, and also what we know is we are given that our B is 1, 0, our D is P2. With this information, we can use the formula for the gradient, and the formula for the gradient says M of BD, which is the gradient of BD, is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. This formula for the gradient is not given in your formula sheet, so I will encourage you to always know this formula. And then we can now determine which one is our X1. I can make this my X1 and that my X2 and my Y1 and my Y2. So now when I substitute, I'll be now having, which is equal to Y2 is 2 minus Y1 is 0 over X2 is P minus X1 is 1. So this is the gradient of BD. But I know the gradient of BD because M here is the gradient of BD. So my gradient of BD is equal to 1. So I can actually equate this expression here. I can equate it to 1. So if I solve it now, I'll be having 2 over P minus 1 is equal to 1. And it's a matter now of solving for P. This is over 1. I can cross multiply like that, so that I have 1 times P minus 1. I can have this. It is P minus 1 is equal to 2, and then take 1 to the other side. I've got P is equal to 3. So the question here was find the value of P, and the value of P is equal to 3 in this case. So that is how you link the gradient, which is M is equal to 1, and you link it to that formula for the gradient so that you can find the value of P. Let us move on to the other question, again on the same diagram. The next question says determine the following: the length of AC. In this case, you have got A and you've got C, and they want the length, and it says leave the answer in its simplest set form. So the calculator will actually simplify this for you. But now you can look at your formulas. There is a formula which says BD, meaning, it's not BD, it's actually distance D in this case, is equal to square root of, depends how you write it, but check it in your formulas, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 and also its square. So this is the formula for finding distance D, but remember this is the distance of AC. So this then will become, I need first of all to have my point A. Let me write it down here. My A is 0, 8, and my C is 4, 0. So I can then have this as my x1, my y1, my x2, and my y2. Then I can substitute it up here to say my x2 is equal to 4 minus x1, which is 0 squared, plus my y2 is 0 minus y1, which is 8 squared. Now the easier thing is to use your calculator, which will give your answer already simplified. So it will be 4 minus 0 squared plus 0 minus 8 squared. So this is what I have, and you can see that the calculator automatically gives me in the simplified set form, which is 4 root 5. So my answer then in its simplest set form is 4 root 5 units. So this is the distance that they wanted to say find the length of AC. Then you can say therefore length of AC is equal to 4 root 5. So that is how you calculate that. So as you can see, the information that they are asking is in the diagram. You just need to understand how to interpret the diagram. Let us look at the next question again. It is still on the same diagram. It says determine the following, the gradient of AC. Again, this question wants us to find the gradient. And what am I given? I have got my A as 0, 8, and I've got my C as 4, 0. So from this, I'm able to remember the formula for the gradient. It says M, or gradient of AC, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have then to identify which one is my y1, my x1. So this will be my x1, my y1, my x2, and my y2. So that if I simplify it now, I will have 0 where there is y2 minus 8 where there is y1 over 4 where there is x2 minus 0. And then if you use again the calculator, then you are going to have in this case 0 minus 8 over 4 minus 0. It gives me my gradient as -2. So that is the gradient. So gradient of AC here is equal to -2. So that is the answer to that particular question. It is also a matter of plugging in the information that is already given. So that was not difficult. The next question says determine the following, the size in degrees of an obtuse angle theta between AC and the x-axis. So now if you look at the line AC and then says find that obtuse angle, there is your theta between the x-axis and the line. Now if you still remember the formula for linking the angle, there is a formula that can link the angle with the gradient. We just found the gradient of AC. If I go previously, we said the gradient of AC there. So that is the reason why they were giving you that. Gradient of AC is equal to -2. If I can write it like this. M of AC actually is equal to -2. Now there is a formula which say theta is equal to arc10 M. So with this formula, we are going to use in this case arc10 M of AC because we know the gradient of the line AC. That is the previous question. That is the one that can help us to find that angle theta. So now if I can substitute, then I will have theta is equal to arc10. Now my M is -2 in this case, so that I will find theta is equal to, so you can say shift arc10 -2. Now I'm getting -63.434 2 decimal places is shift, then you press 6, you put 3 decimal places, is minus 63.435. So now you are getting a negative angle. So now what I want to show you is how to write your final answer here. So the negative angle that you just got, if I can draw this line, it continues like that. The negative angle that you just got is this particular angle, which becomes your 63.435. The negative sign tells you that it is below the x-axis. That's why it's negative. Now you need to find the one that is above the x-axis. So for you to do that, you are going to say, therefore, theta is equal to 180 minus 63.435. Why am I separating from 180? Angles in a straight line add up to 180. If I add theta here, it's not clear there. If I say theta plus 63.435, it must give me 180. So that my final answer then will be 180 minus 63.435, and I'm getting 116.565. So that becomes that particular angle theta. So the angle there that you needed was 116.565. So that is how you can find the answer to this particular question. Remember, when you are getting a negative, you must know that the answer is, you mustn't leave your answer with that negative. You must know that the answer that you need is positive, so you just separate 180 minus that number. It will give you the positive theta of that. You do not want the negative theta of that answer. Let us move on to another question, similar, still on this diagram. It says, determine the following, the equation of the line parallel to AC. So we still have our AC in this case. So this is our line, in this case AC. So they are saying find the equation of the line AC, which is parallel through point B. So there is that, I think the line there, it is parallel through that particular point B. Leave the answer in gradient intercept form. So what do they mean when they say that? They are saying this point B, there is a line. You can see the line is dotted, and these arrows are indicating the parallel line. If you still remember, if I go backward, we said the gradient of line AC was equal to -2. So here I can say M of AC was equal to -2. Now there is a formula, not a formula actually, a statement which says gradient of parallel lines are equal. So if the gradient of line 1 is equal to gradient of line 2, actually that is the expression or the equation, gradient of line 1 is equal to the gradient of line 2. Or in other words, it says parallel lines have the same gradient. So if I know the gradient of line AC as -2, I will also know the gradient of that line as M is also equal to -2. So I know the gradient of this line, and also I know the point, so which means M is equal to -2, and there is a point B which is 1, 0. With this information, I can find the equation of a line. I can use two formulas. Let me start with the one that is given in your formula sheet. It says y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. That is the first formula you could have used. Let me write the other formula on the other side. The other formula you could have used is the general formula of a line y is equal to mx plus c. Personally, I prefer this formula because it actually gives your answer already in gradient intercept form, because this is a gradient intercept form that they're talking about. Why? Because m is the gradient and c is that intercept. So when they say gradient intercept form, they are talking about in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. If I can use that formula, I know in this case I've got point B as 1, 0, and I've got my gradient as -2. So if I can use that formula, it will be y. So this becomes my x, that becomes my y. So I will substitute and say where there is y, it's 0 is equal to m, which is -2, and x is 1 plus c. So 0 is equal to -2 plus c. Take 2 to the other side, I've got my c is equal to 2. When I write it in gradient intercept form, I'll write it as, if I can use another pen, it will be then y is equal to m, which is -2x plus 2, which is the c. So the main part of this formula is to find c, and then you after finding c, you write it like that. This is what they mean when they say the gradient intercept form. Now, using this formula that we are given in this scenario, you have your x1 now and your y1, and already this formula allows you to calculate your c. Your c is already included there, whereby I will have y minus y1, which is 0, is equal to m, which was -2, x minus x1, which is 1. So y minus 0 is y is equal to, then you have to open up this bracket, it will be -2x. Now -2 times -1 is +2. Now if you compare the two equations, you can see that this is now the gradient intercept form because it's y is equal to mx plus c. You compare the two, you can see that it is giving us the same answer. So remember, you can use two ways, but whatever answer that, the answer will be the same. The method can be different, but you still arrive at the same answer. The next question, still on this particular diagram, it says determine the following. The equation of the line, this time it is perpendicular to BD. So the equation of the line that is perpendicular to BD passing through point B, leave your answer in gradient intercept form. So it's still the same, but now they're using the word perpendicular. Now you need to know from your formulas, it will tell you what they mean by perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines means m1 times m2 is equal to -1. So they are saying the equation of the line perpendicular to BD. So what we need is we need to go again. Previously we did calculate the gradient, because since we are dealing with the gradient here, we have to go and find the gradient of BD, which we calculated previously. And still back, we say the gradient of BD was 1. Still remember, m of BD is equal to 1. So with that information, it is the one that we're going to use here to say gradient m of BD is equal to 1. So now I can find the gradient of this other line. So if I say m of BD, because this line are perpendicular, times m2, which is the second line, it must give me a -1 because they told me these lines are perpendicular. And then I know the gradient of BD is 1, so 1 times m2 is -1. Therefore, I know now my m2 is equal to -1. When I know the gradient, I can then use this gradient to find the equation of the line. They told me it passes again through point B, and remember point B is 1, 0. So I've got my M being the gradient being -1, and my point B being in this case 1, 0. I have to just write B as 1, 0 not equal to. As I said, I prefer this formula y is equal to mx plus c. This formula will allow me to find c, in which case I have got my x and my y there, and what I need is to substitute where there is x and y. So 0 is equal to m, which is -1, and my x is 1 plus c. Now if you simplify it, you take it to the other side, you'll get 1 is equal to c. Then finally the answer will be y is equal to m, which is -1x plus c, which is 1 in this case. Or you can write it as y is equal to -x plus 1 is still correct. And as I said, you can choose to use this formula y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. And then in this case, you choose now to say this is my x1 and my y1. So you've got y minus 0 is equal to m, which is -1, x minus x1, which is -1. So you've got your y is equal to, you open that and you open that, it will be -1x, -1 times -1 is +1. Therefore, in this case, y is equal to -1x is same as saying -x plus 1. If again compare the two, you can see that it is all leading to the same answer depending which of the formulas you choose to use, as either you use y is equal to this or y is equal to mx plus c. It will still lead you to the answer, but don't forget your answer must say y is equal to. Then you have got mx plus c, which is the gradient intercept form. So as I said, this was a typical example. I think this question paper was written in April 2018. So I was trying to show you how you can approach such a question paper, such a question in a final exam, and I hope this will be of benefit to you. Thank you. I hope the video that you just watched was of benefit to you, and as I said, if you benefited from the video, you can press the like button or you can leave us a comment below. And if you want to be notified of these videos, you can always subscribe to our channel. Now, if you want the full curriculum of this mathematics, if you're studying for mathematics N1, N2 or N3 and you want the textbook as well as the videos, we have a full curriculum of the mathematics N1, N2, N3 as well as the accompanying videos. We also have videos of the previous question papers, the latest papers that were written in video form. These question papers can assist you as you prepare for your exams. We also have PDF version of the previous question papers that were written since 2014 until now. And if you want them, you can check all the information from our website, and trust me, these will become very handy to you. We sell them at a very discounted prices, and it is worth the try. Thank you.